This is the video lesson for the second half of lesson 4 from A Fresh Approach for the Beginning Percussion class. Now, in the previous video, we worked through all of our daily warm-ups and we added a new exercise. Then I taught you how to count and play eighth notes in quarter time with the key exercises and the appendix. In lesson 4B, which is on page 38, we are going to do some music reading exercises, which I'm going to really mess around with the rhythms, kind of put them in different places. I'm going to change the time signature. I'm going to add buzzes. I'm going to add paradiddles and double paradiddles and all kinds of stuff like that. So you really have to make sure that you are perfect on the key exercises and the appendix lines. That will make this super, super simple. All right, so as we go through these reading exercises, look at line number 1. Okay, every time that we have a new line that we're reading, okay, reading meaning sight reading, like if I gave you a book and I said, here, read this for me, you'd pick it up and just start reading the words in the book. You wouldn't have to memorize it to be able to read. What we call this in music is sight reading, when we're seeing something and playing it for the first time without having rehearsed it. So we're going to try at a very, very slow tempo, at 60 beats a minute. I just want to see how you do at sight reading this line. So we haven't worked on it. I haven't told you how to count it. Let's just see how you do. Tapping your foot. Remember, all quarter notes are downbeats, left hand's on the upbeat. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, rest. Okay, now that was really slow, but how did you do at sight reading this line? Okay, if you perfected it, if it was perfect, then you were actually doing really well because you worked on those key exercises. You worked on the appendix line. And now it's all making sense to you, so I can read this just like I could read a book. Unless it's Shakespeare or something, if I gave you a book, it's pretty simple to read because you have that vocabulary already established. All right, for you, those of you who didn't sight read it perfectly, let's go through a few measures here just to make sure everything is right, okay? So, what is the time signature? 4/4, 4 beats a measure, quarter note gets a beat. That's pretty simple. First measure is very simple, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3, rest. What do I do on my rest? I always tap my foot. Now, in my next measure, in the third measure, I did something a little bit different. Quarter note, I alternated my quarter notes. You can play both of them on your right hand, but really that's kind of a device that I use to get my students used to get that downbeat and upbeat relationship of the quarters and eighth notes. As you have perfected this in the key exercises and appendix, you probably don't need to do that. So when you see multiple quarter notes in a row, feel free to alternate those. Just remember that quarter note is on the downbeats 3 and 4. Last measure, 1 and 2, 3. You can either go right, left, right, or right, left, left. Doesn't really matter. Okay, we just want that every pair of eighth notes to start with the right hand. All right, we're going to speed that up. Let's see if you can read this, play it perfectly at 70 beats a minute. And 1 and 2, set and go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay? So the second time you read something is not sight reading. You're only sight reading when you're reading something the very first time. All right, so we've worked on it at 60, 70. Let's move it up to 90 and see how you do. So a little faster tempo. Okay, the right hand is still on every downbeat, except for that one left hand I tossed in there for no reason. Remember to tap your foot while you play. And 1 and 2, set and go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and and hit my rim, but I want to keep that nice relaxed rebound stroke. Simple enough. Line number 2. I'm staying in 4/4 time, but I'm moving my pairs of eighth notes to the primary beats 1 and 3 to 2 and 4. So sometimes they're on 1 and 3, sometimes on 2 and 4. Let's count this line out loud at a slow tempo. Now, when I'm counting, you can count it without, or you can clap it, or you can play just your right hand while you count. So I'm going to have the little highlighters that go from beat to beat here. I'll go really slow at 60. I just want to count and play with my right hand all the way through this line. Still in 4/4. And 2, and ready, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rest. 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So every time I have my pair of eighth notes, downbeat is the first one, upbeat is the second one. Let's go a little faster and alternate. Or use the sticking that, shouldn't say alternate. Use the sticking that's written there. 1, 2, set and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rest. 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, and 4. So you can play every quarter note on your right hand, or you can alternate whenever you have a couple of quarter notes in a row like it is on that line. All right, that's simple enough. Hopefully you get the concept in your head. If you don't have it, what's that tool that we have to work on it and woodshed it? It's called PadLab. There is a link in the left column for you to jump over to PadLab. You can always stop the video, rewind it, and do it again. Okay, any of those things, making sure that you're having it perfect before you move on. All right, the next line is the first one that kind of has a little bit of a challenge. We're in 3/4 time, but what I'm doing here is I'm adding that buzz stroke. So a half note buzz, and then I have eighth notes, but now I'm really testing your skills at knowing how to count eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and I'm also adding a sticking in here that is what rudiment? Can you look at that sticking that's in measure 2 with the underline and tell me what rudiment that is? It's a paradiddle diddle, okay? So I wanted to see whether or not you know how to count eighth notes so well that now I don't have to always have the right hand on every downbeat, but now I'm playing a paradiddle diddle sticking. Let's try the first 2 measures there. Remember the half notes get 2 beats, and I'm doing a nice long buzz. 1, 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, 3. Paradiddle diddle. Hey, isn't that simple? Let's try it again, but this time repeat it. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3. Paradiddle diddle. 1, 2, 3. Paradiddle diddle 1. So after the repeat sign, you go to the next measure. All right, so the bounce, I'm having to relax my fulcrum as that bounce happens to make sure that it lasts for the full amount of time. So if you look at measure 3, 1, 2, 3. So a little bit of fulcrum pressure to get that stick bouncing for 2 counts, and then 1, 2, and 3 in measure 4. And then my last 2 measures, rest, 2 and 3. And then my last measure, I have 1 and 2 and 3. But now I have what rudiment, or what sticking pattern is that? Paradiddle buzz. All right, play just that last measure. Paradiddle buzz. 2, ready, and go. Paradiddle buzz. Okay, now this one is only a quarter note, so I can stop the buzz. So I don't just leave it there, okay, because it's not a half note that goes into oblivion. Okay, paradiddle buzz, lift. So you're going to lift up on that. All right, play that last measure again. 2, ready, and go. Paradiddle buzz, off, off. You turn the light switch by picking it up. Do it again. Ready and go. Paradiddle buzz stop. All right, now you know everything you need to know to play this line. Don't forget the repeat sign. And don't forget that we're in 3/4 time. We're only counting to 3 if you're counting the counts. Tapping our foot. And 1, 2, set and go. Half note 3. Paradiddle diddle. Half note 3. Paradiddle diddle right. Half note 1, 2, and 3. Rest 2 and 3. Paradiddle buzz off. Okay, so a little tricky in that last couple of measures. We want to start on our right hand, but we have to read the sticking as well. And this becomes important as we play our rudimental etudes. The sticking and the rudiments are very important. So not only am I asking you to read the buzzes and the rhythms, but I'm asking you to read the stickings. I'm going to speed that tempo up. Let's see how you do at 80. 2 and 1 and 2 and set and go. Half note 3. Paradiddle diddle. Half note 3. Paradiddle diddle 1. Half note 1, 2 and 3. Rest. Look ahead. Paradiddle right. Okay? If you look ahead, right, left, right, paradiddle. Got to go to your left hand on that one. All right. So work on that. Start slow. Count it out loud. And then gradually speed up the tempo. If you need extra help, go to the PadLab. Just select that one line and loop it a bunch of times, or just the measures that are causing you problems. Then speed the tempo up and you've got it. All right. Now our first kind of what I'll call a percussion ensemble of the entire book is Clair de Lune. Now Clair de Lune has a snare part, it has a mallet part, and it also has a new instrument called the tambourine. And everybody pretty much knows what a tambourine is, but we're going to work on the snare part in this lesson. Mallet part we'll work on in the mallet lesson, and in a tambourine, I'm just going to give you a tambourine lesson by itself. So let's just work on the snare drum part to Clair de Lune. Now in PadLab, this is a separate, separate from the reading. So it has its own PadLab for Clair de Lune. So if you're working on it in PadLab, look that up. All right, so at the beginning, we have 2 lines. Notice that at the end, well, notice about 4 measures in, there is a repeat sound, so I'm going to go back to the beginning again. And then my last 2 measures, what kind of rest is that? I don't even know that I covered that. Oh, I covered it in the mallets. It is a whole rest. A whole rest gets 4 counts. I always like to think of whole rest as holding on to the 4th line. Remember, a half rest sits on the 3rd line and looks like a hat. A whole rest attaches, holds on to the 4th line. A whole rest gets 4 counts in quarter time. Sometimes you'll see a whole rest just taking up a whole measure. It doesn't matter what number of beats are. So when we get to the last 2 measures, all you have to do is count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess what we have to learn how to do as percussionists? We have to learn how to count a lot of rests. So let's try just the first line. Notice I've got 1, 2, and 3, 4, rest, half note, 4, 1, 2, and 3. In my 4th measure, okay, sticking. So it's not only 1 and 2 and 3, 4, but I throw in the paradiddle sticking here. So pay attention. We're going to go really slow, but pay attention not only to the rhythms, but to the sticking as well. Here we go. Try it. And we're sight reading now. 2, ready, and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, rest. 2, 4, rest. 2, 3, and look ahead. Paradiddle right. Repeat. 1, 2, and 3, 4, rest. Half note, 4, rest. 2, 3, and 4. Paradiddle, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to count through 4 at that slow of a tempo. You get it. You're just going to rest for 8 counts, 2 measures of 4. All right? Now, a couple of things in that line. Really, it's a little tricky because I've got the rest half note, I've got rest in different places, and then I have that sticking that I have to look for. So after I do my 3 and 4, I have paradiddle, starting on the left hand to that. All right, let's try that one more time. That's pretty simple, but let's speed it up. See how you do. Okay, read the sticking. Not only sticking, tap your foot. Remember, any rest or any half note, the beat that you don't play on is in your foot. 1, 2, set and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, foot, half foot, left, foot, right, 3 and 4, paradiddle, right, again, right, right, left, foot, half note, foot, right, right, left, right, paradiddle, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so this one's pretty simple. 2 measures of rest, easy to keep engaged. When you have a piece that has 100 measures of rest, that's when it gets a little boring. But 2 measures of rest, because you need to learn how to do that. All right, let's move on to the second line. In the second line, starts off with my good half note, okay? Nice long buzzes, and I know what amount of fulcrum pressure that I'm going to need to make those buzzes last for a full half note, okay? So make sure that you do that. When I get to my second measure, I have right. What is this rudiment? Starts on my left hand. Double paradiddle. So I can automatically recognize my rudiment and just play my rudiment. I don't really have to count it as much as I'm just playing my rudiment. Right, double paradiddle, right. Let's try just the second measure, finish off on the beginning of the third measure. 2, ready, go. Right, double paradiddle, right. Do it again. Ready, go. Right, double paradiddle, right. And then I do 2 and 3, 4. After the first 3 bars, I have another whole rest, which takes up a whole measure. Whole rest gets 4 counts. So I rest for 4 counts. And my last 2 measures, right, paradiddle, right, rest, 2 and 3. So I got to read my sticking, okay? Reading the sticking is very simple if you recognize the rudiments. Right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, right. So my rest, right, left, right at the end. Let's play the last 2 measures. That's the only tricky part. 1, 2, set and go. Right, left, left, right, rest. Okay, simple. Let's do it again, but remember to tap your foot. I didn't tap my foot last time. 1, 2, set and go. Right, left, right, rest. All right, so tapping your foot, I won't say it's hard because we have a little bit of coordination it's involved with. Now my left hand of the paradiddle is on with my foot instead of my right hand every single time. That's not really that hard. If you need extra practice because that's messing you up, practice just tapping your foot and playing paradiddles. You could do the same thing with double paradiddles. Okay, just getting used to, it doesn't matter what your hands are playing, your foot and your hands are always in time. All right, let's play that whole second line together, okay? Not a whole lot in there, okay, except for that second measure and the last 2 measures, just to pay attention to the sticking. You got that measure of rest in between that if you messed up, you can join back in. Here we go. The whole second line. 1, 2, ready, go. Half note, right, double paradiddle, right, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, paradiddle, right, rest, right, rest. Okay, so a little bit of stuff in there that you might need to work on with PadLab. Again, PadLab is where you woodshed the lines. If you have any problems playing it with me in this, two things you can do actually. You can stop the video, you can rewind it a bit, and you can do that a couple of times. Or after the video lesson is done, you can jump over to PadLab and work on that separately, just so that you have, like you can slow it down, select the measures that are causing you problems, and kind of work on your own. It's a great online tool to do that. All right, let's try the whole thing, okay? So we're gonna go at a medium tempo here, 80 beats per minute, but then we're gonna speed it up. Remember, it's 2 lines long. You have to have patience for those 2 measures of rest and then come in the right place and the beginning of the second line. Don't forget your repeat sign in the top line. Here we go, good luck. 1, 2, and ready, go. 1, 2, and 3, 4, rest, 2, rest, 4, rest, 2, 3, and 4. Paradiddle, right, repeat. Right, left, rest. Right, left, rest. Right, left, paradiddle, right, left. Now take a break, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, now buzz, right, double paradiddle, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, right, paradiddle, right, left. All right, so when you get to your rest, you can do what I do and say, you can say foot, or you can just think the rest to yourself. All right, remember, when you get to the 2 measures of rest at the end of the top line, you got to count. Okay, you can't just take a vacation in your brain, because then you won't know where to come back in. All right, as these percussion ensembles get longer and more complex, you'll get longer rests that you have to count through. So I'm starting really easy with you. Trying to make it easy at first so you can do it perfect as it gets harder. All right, last thing we're going to do is play that at 100 beats per minute. Okay, again, we're still concentrating on the snare line. We don't have all of the backup parts, but should be pretty simple at this point. And 1, 2, set and go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 half note, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Paradiddle, right. Again, right, left, rest. Half note, 4, rest. 2, 3, and 4. Paradiddle, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Buzz, right. Double paradiddle, right. Right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, paradiddle, right, rest. All right, so that's about 100. I think that's about the tempo of the PadLab. What's easy about this in the lesson is we're only hearing the snare part. Okay, that's fun because you really are concentrated. Everybody's playing the same part. You don't have anything to distract you. But guess what? When we're playing a percussion ensemble, all of a sudden I have a keyboard part. And I got a keyboard player over here, and I got a tambourine player over here playing completely separate parts. So all of a sudden, now I have to concentrate. I have to be able to play my part perfectly in tempo. They have to be able to play their parts perfectly in tempo for us to be able to play together. So if the keyboard player didn't work on his part and can't play it in tempo, and the tambourine person gets lost in the middle, it doesn't matter how good you are, your ensemble's not going to be good. So it really is a team sport when we're playing percussion ensembles, because everybody has to be able to nail their parts individually. That's why we focus on one part at a time, and then you can focus on it in PadLab. Now, when you go to PadLab in Clara de Lune, I'll play the snare drum part first, then the keyboard part, and then the tambourine part, I think. Maybe it's the keyboard, snare drum, whichever it is. You can select which lines you want to actually work on and just do those parts. That way, when you put it all together, it's perfect. All right, so make sure that you have nailed all of these music reading lines, the key exercises, the appendix lines with PadLab, and then the play along classes before you move on to the next lesson. Okay. Also with this lesson, you want to make sure that you spend time learning the techniques of how to play the tambourine, because tambourine isn't just an instrument that you play in church or that you throw around the room. Okay. It has a very specific skill set that you need to learn to be able to play as a professional percussionist. So work through all the snare drum, learn the tambourine, all the mallets, put it together, and then you'll be ready to move on to lesson number 5.